What's up, everybody? It's your boy Jacob, and today we finally back for episode 5 of Jake's Sports Take. So today I'm gonna be talking about NFC, AFC Championship games. I'm gonna do some previews of each game, give you the injury report, predictions, and all that much more. So, but I would also like to say that to all the people that reached out, trying to see what's going on, what the videos, all that. My apologies. First off, my apologies. I just got caught up in some things, trying to get some new things squared away, new job, a lot of other stuff. I had recorded some videos before, but I lost them. So it's just been a lot going on. But thank you for bearing with me, and we back, moving forward, talking sports. So this is going to be the kickoff to that, and, hopefully, you guys enjoy this video. But let's get to these championship games. I'm excited. First off, we have the NFC Championship game. San Francisco 49ers have to travel to the Philadelphia Eagles to see who represents the NFC in this year's Super Bowl. The injury report within this game, as I'm looking at right now, as of today, which is the day before the game, looks pretty clean. As far as Philly goes, they're pretty clean. One of their tackles, offensive tackles, is out. He's been out for a while, so I don't think that's pretty much a surprise or anything. So that should be good. As far as the 49ers go, the only noticeable player is Elijah Mitchell, who's the second string running back behind McCaffrey. He's questionable, but usually questionable means you're gonna play, so he might be a scratch. But right now they just have that on the injury report. So injury wise, this looks like a clean game. Some key points leading up to the game. I do think this game is going to be a low scoring game. Obviously you got the 49ers, for the last 10 to 12 weeks been the best defense in the NFL. You got them going up against the Philadelphia Eagles offense, who's been one of the best offenses in the league. Jalen Hurts leading them. So I think the line of scrimmage is going to be real important. Is Philadelphia able to dominate the trenches and move that San Francisco defensive line and front eight, led by Bosa and the D-line, Fred Warner, linebacker? Are they going to be able to move them and run the ball on them? As we know, Philly's a good team, but Philly's at their best when they can play action and throw the ball as well to those receivers that they have out there. But the play action only happens if you're able to control the line of scrimmage and get yards on first and second down running the ball. So that should be something to look out for. Jalen Hurts, obviously, he had the shoulder injury a few weeks ago, but this is going to be the game that's going to test that to see, as far as his toughness goes, running the ball, throwing the ball. Is he really healthy, or has he been hiding it behind, different things? But I think he'll be all right, as he's shown some glimpses of it in the weeks since he's been back. But he's just sitting down against a defense like this. So that's one of the key points. The second one I got is Hurts and the receivers versus the 49ers secondary. If I was a weakness within the 49ers defense, it would have to be the secondary. Front eight is, pretty much, it's kind of hard to go against and say anything bad about. But when the secondary comes, they have a few guys, Shadarius Ward, they have a few guys back there who can give up big plays here and there. I saw he gave up a few plays to DK a few weeks ago. The Cowboys game was a pretty low-scoring game, but they had some plays made in that game as well. So it's just a matter of seeing the Philadelphia receivers with A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, can get some separation on these 49ers secondary defenders to see if they can, create some space to make plays. So the line of scrimmage is also important in the pass game as well, as I touched on the last point, just going back to it, as far as Hurts being able to throw the ball. Bosa, one of the best. He's obviously going to be, the defensive player of the year this year, one of the best defenders in the NFL. So that'll be good to see. But the Eagles has a very good offensive line led by their center, future Hall of Famer Jason Kelce. So that'll be a good thing to see for the Eagles to be able to hold up passing and running against that 49ers defense. That's going to be pretty good to see. I have Purdy and pressure as my next point. So Brock Purdy, quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers, obviously missed a relevant last pick of the draft, but now he has his team one game from the Super Bowl. But can Philly's defense get pressure on him, make him had to beat them? They obviously have a lot of weapons with McCaffrey, Debo, different guys like that. Shanahan does a good job at getting them in the right position to make plays. And Purdy's usually this type of guy who takes care of the ball and doesn't really try to make a whole lot of crazy plays. So if he doesn't turn the ball over and they actually, can string together a good flow of offense, and I think they have a good shot at winning. But if Philly can get a lot of pressure on him, maybe get them down, maybe early to see what he looks like in that moment, that would be interesting to see. And I think that can ultimately lead to the Philadelphia Eagles' advantage in that game. But that's going to be, a good point to see as well. So as far as that game goes, my prediction for that game, that's going to be a tough one. I ultimately do think that it's going to come down to Jalen Hurts having to make some plays here and there. And don't get me wrong, he's made those plays this year. To me, he's the second in the MVP voting behind Patrick Mahomes for the Kansas City Chiefs. But I just feel like that San Francisco D-line is going to get home, get some pressure in, and ultimately kind of affect him and him, making plays and being able to win the game. So I do have the San Francisco 49ers going into Philly and beating them 28-24 and advancing to the Super Bowl, where Brock Purdy will see if he can actually win it for them. It's crazy that a guy like that being drafted in the last round. I mean, you got two guys in front of you get hurt. Trey Lance, Jimmy G, both go down. Now you step up and you in the NFC Championship game. So I think he's going to make a few plays and not turn it over and ultimately get them to the Super Bowl. So I have the San Francisco 49ers beating the Philadelphia Eagles 28-24 in the NFC Championship game. And from there, we're going to move to the AFC. We have the AFC Championship game, in which I think this is going to be the most interesting game of Championship weekend. We have a rematch of the AFC from last year between the Cincinnati Bengals traveling to the Kansas City Chiefs. This game, star power, action-packed, two of the best quarterbacks in my opinion in the NFL. Patrick Mahomes 1, Joe Burrow 2. Just all the storylines you would need. So the injury report for this one is obviously very important. Number one is Patrick Mahomes. As we know, in the prior round against Jacksonville Jaguars, he had a high ankle sprain, which, depending on the player, position, things like that, takes usually 4 to 8 weeks process to heal completely. But today, obviously, with those facilities they got and just the technology we got, I mean, things are healing faster than ever for players that's playing professional ball now. So I personally don't think Patrick Mahomes' ankle will be as big of an issue as it maybe seems. I think when obviously his game is, he's a thrower of the ball, but he can move outside the pocket, and that's when he's at his most dangerous, when he can, do things on the run and improvise and be able to throw balls down the field, pick up plays he shouldn't pick up just because of his legs. So that's something to watch out for, and it's definitely the number one priority thing in this game. If he's a shell of himself, and maybe if I'm wrong, then obviously they don't have a shot. But if he's anything that I think he is, the competitor, just most complete player as far as quarterbacks go in the NFL right now, I think he'll be all right and he'll be competitive. Cincinnati's been yapping their gums a little bit, rightfully so, as they beat the Buffalo Bills in the last round, went into Buffalo and beat them. So, they coming in feeling kind of hot, and they've, as of late, I think they've won, I don't know how many games they won in a row, but I want to say it's up there. I think maybe like 8, something like games like that in a row. So, they on that same high horse, kind of like the San Francisco is in the NFC, but I do think that Cincinnati is the most complete team right now on both sides of the ball. The Chiefs defense kind of gives me some questions, but as far as the key points go, we'll address something similar to that in those. But first thing is his ankle, which I discussed. And another thing about that ankle is high ankle sprains, and I know most of y'all probably saw the video already, but mostly high ankle sprains, usually people, after they sprain a high ankle, they can't really run around, walk around, anything like that. The clips I've seen, the research I've done, I've seen practice footage and stuff. He doesn't look like, I know it looked bad, but he doesn't look like he's lingering and suffering as most people do when they're recovering from a high ankle sprain. So, like I said, I think he'll be okay, but that's to be determined, and we shall see. I got the Chiefs pass rush versus the Bengals offense. A lot of people are asleep on the Chiefs defense. I think Bengals offense presents a crazy challenge. Honestly, they got the best receiving core. Joe Burrow is one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Running game, P-Ron and Mixon. They got stars everywhere, so they're going to challenge that and could overwhelm them. But I will say that the Chiefs defensive line, Chris Jones, Frank Clark, those guys get a lot of sacks. And if Chris Jones can demand a double team and free up some room for Frank Clark on the other side to be able to do things and get some sacks here and there and kind of shake Joe Burrow up, maybe force a turnover here or there, they can change this game. So I would not sleep on that Chiefs defensive line as of yet. But if they can't get any pressure on him and they let him stand back there and pat the ball all day and long and, just have time to throw to the best receiving core in the league, led by Jamar Chase with T. Higgins behind him and Tyler Boyd behind him, Hayden Hurst at tight end. They got as far as a core, and then they have Joe Burrow throwing to him. It doesn't get any more elite than that. But look at that Chiefs defensive line and see if they can actually get pressure. And if they can, they will change this game and make it more interesting than most people kind of have predicted. Secondly, I got Burrow in the big three. Just touched on it. Best receiving core in the league. You got Jamar Chase, who can take the top off the defense, make crazy plays, catch the ball with one hand, do a lot of different things. He's, to me, at least one of the top, four? I say 4, maybe 5 receivers in the league. I'll put him at 4, I think. So he's a top 5 receiver. T. Higgins is rightfully a wide receiver 1 on a lot of teams, but since he's playing for Cincinnati, he's behind Jamar Chase, so he's a wide receiver 2, which is not a bad thing to have because obviously Chase gonna get a lot of attention from defenses and secondary. So T. Higgins can benefit from that. And he's a pretty good guy as well. I had him in my fantasy this past year, and he kind of showed up for me. So know a little bit about him. And then Tyler Boyd is a receiver 3. I mean, he's one of those guys that can kind of fly under the radar and you kind of forget about because you got those other 2. But he can hurt you, take the top off the defense. He's a possession receiver, so 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9s, 3rd and 7s, long 3rd downs, 2nd and longs. Look for him to be able to be that receiver to kind of pick up yards and contribute towards the Bengals offense. But can the Chiefs hold up against these big 3? You know, they played earlier in the year, and the Chiefs had a lead on them. Travis Kelce fumbled, I think, in that game and gave them a short field. They ended up losing that game, but in Cincinnati as well. So that was a close game. Chiefs were on the road in, and Cincinnati beat them. So it's a rematch of not just last year's AFC Championship game, but a rematch of this year as well. So that's going to be exciting to see. But with that being said, I have Kansas City winning this game, 30-27. I think Patrick Mahomes, here's the critics. A lot of people have already, and I don't understand why. Now, I get it. Joe Burrow's, as I just said, he's the 2nd best quarterback in the NFL to me. But he hasn't done what Patrick Mahomes has done. I mean, Patrick Mahomes been to 2 Super Bowls, won 1, league MVP, about to win his 2nd league MVP. So, I mean, they're the top 2, but then obviously Patrick Mahomes is in a class by himself. But I think he's taking it personal that the Bengals are kind of being cocky, coming in the Arrowhead, calling it Burrowhead. I've seen a lot of different things on the web about just, taunting and stuff like that. So I think the Chiefs going to take it personal. You know, they're kind of getting counted out already without the game even being played. So, I mean, it's going to be hard to see, but I don't really think – I think the Bengals are a good team, but I do think sooner or later you're going to have some hiccups, and I think this is going to be the game that's going to cost them with some hiccups that they really wouldn't want. So maybe a fumble here and there or like a bad play to turnover, something like that. But I got the Chiefs winning, man. Last year, the Bengals went in there and beat them, and the Chiefs had a lead that game. I actually rewatched those highlights the other day, and I think they had a 20-3 lead, 21-3, something like that, a big lead, and then the Bengals came back and won the game. So when Patrick Mahomes played his worst half of football in any game I've ever seen him play. So he has a lot to prove, in my opinion. Obviously, no Tyreek Hill this year, and he's led him to the AFC Championship game. So he has got that monkey off his back, and I think he's actually going to just, put on display and show why he's the best quarterback in the league, and not just the best quarterback, but the best player in the NFL. So I'm excited to see that. Like I said, I have the Chiefs winning 30-27, and that concludes my AFC and NFC Championship previews and predictions. So just like that, episode 5 of Jake Sports Take is over with. Man, like I said, I took some time off, had to, get some things together, but the good thing is I'm back. I'm be able to do some videos, be able to move forward, and do things like that. So as far as the NFC Championship, AFC Championship weekend goes, lastly, I have the 49ers winning 28-24, and I have the Chiefs winning 30-27, and they will reunite in the Super Bowl to see who wins it all. But predictions may go wrong, predictions may go right. That's just my take. That's Jake Sports Take, and we'll see how it goes. But until the next video, hope you guys enjoy and give me some feedback. Like, comment, subscribe, things like that, and we'll keep it moving. Until next time, peace.